I've just been watching the Linus Tech Tips Linux challenge, I think the second video, um, and then reading comments in the Linux subreddit. It's always the same, exactly the same thing, um, like on repeat for the last 20 years. Um, I think it really comes down to a fundamental misunderstanding of what it is. Um, Everyone always seems to compare it to Windows or compare it to other major OSs, but the only thing you could possibly compare things to is, say, perhaps the targets of specific distributions. So, say Canonical pay people to make Linux, then you could use Ubuntu as an example of that. But you'd have to install vanilla Ubuntu and then find out what Ubuntu supports, and then do that. Or uh, there are others that pay. Red Hat, but they make primarily engineering distros for servers. So everything else is volunteer based, it's a completely different software stack. So the fact that it's volunteer based primarily, I'm surprised anything works at all. It's kind of hilarious. So all the jankiness and weirdness is all entirely about people, individual people's personalities. And one thing I was thinking when I was reading criticism about things, and they're complaining in generic terms and comparing it to Windows, is that you're complaining about somebody's paid work when you complain about Windows. Somebody got hired to do a job, and um, they had to come up with their design specs and follow whatever company, and you pay for Windows, you pay for a product. So the claims on their boxes and stuff, sort of makes sense because if you pay for a product. But with Linux, it's different. When you complain, you're not really complaining about a paid product. You're complaining about people's volunteer time and work. It's more like, I remember when I used to have this, when I used to do a lot of 3D work, and I was following this particular thread of a guy who was making, I can't remember his name. I think it was on 3D. .com or 3d.org or whatever. It's like a forum, and he was posting up his progress about his modeling of a female character, and he was just doing anatomy and body structure in the early days, and we were all encouraging him, and everything's good, and we're all like, yeah, this is really good, keep going, like, we love your work. And he's like, yeah, like, awesome, I love doing this. And then at some point, like, I provided some really nice feedback to him, and that builds a sort of relationship on the forum between you and other people. When they appreciate your feedback, it's genuine, and everyone's like constructively working together on a thing. And then he chose a design for the clothes that, for me, I didn't like at all. And I commented very harshly criticism about the style, and that I'm not going to follow the project anymore. And I didn't like it anymore. Like, the direction that he was headed was not the direction I wanted. And he commented back how immediately he felt despondent and didn't want to work on it anymore. And I realized that my personal preference, and then me expressing that about something that's like an art project, a volunteer-based, like, passion project, um, providing that criticism actually hurt him as a person. And it was, for me, like, that turned around the way that I deal with people online. Um, and I felt really bad because it wasn't this soulless, thing that I'd been railing against. It was a person's dreams and passions that I was had told them I thought was shit. Um, and that changes the way you think about things. And so what I see when I see the criticism against individual projects, against basically software as a whole, even though you can't see that there are people behind it, um, people pour their lives, their volunteer time. I mean, that's like sacrificing your life for things, like, and they love their work, even if it's janky, even if it's weird. Um, they poured a lot of their time and money, or time and effort, into it to make it. because they believe in it, or they want it, or they desire it. And when you shit on them just because it doesn't match up to somebody else's paid work, it's like talking to a child and being like, your artwork is shit, so fuck off. You know, that's what it feels like on the other side. So I think criticism for criticism's sake without any constructivity doesn't really help. And I kind of got that out of the Linus video. Like after finishing watching it, I'm like, I can see where he's going with it. I can see what his intentions are. But I'm not seeing the constructivity behind it. Like I can see the criticism, I'm just not seeing the other side of it, to sort of balance it out and make it nice, which I kind of would like to see. But that would take a lot longer and would be a very different kind of video. So, you know, yeah, even one of these comments right here, it's like, way too many Linux users somehow manage to take everything as a personal attack. And it's like, because they're not making things for mass production, they're making for personal use, majority. They want to scratch an itch, and they hope that itch scratches other itches for other people too, and they're looking for collaboration, and they're looking for friends a lot of the time. And when you shit on their work, of course they feel it personally. There is certainly a way to give criticism to products, or to things other people produce, in a way that it works. Most criticism comes unsolicited. Bug trackers are a good place to provide valid criticism, but constructive criticism. I mean, most of the Linux railing against users or people who produce stuff railing against all the criticism is because it's unhelpful. You're expressing your like negative feelings, but you're not providing a way or helping solve those negative feelings. The people who are producing the software are already working to solve those negative feelings. It's kind of like complaining about government. Government is a participatory, like, you know, our institutions are participatory, like, get involved. Like, complaining about them doesn't really do anything. It's no wonder, like, politicians are all like bitter, crazy fucking weirdos. Like, they have to walk through the quagmire of human shit, you know, like, not that I like many politicians, but, you know, the ones that are good are fucking excellent. So, you know, try to help them out. Yeah, complaining for complaining's sake never gets anything done, never works, never makes any difference. You know, you gotta participate if you want the world to change. And Linux and open source software is very much a participatory sort of game. You get involved, you provide valuable stuff back. Otherwise, people, yeah, they get offended and they say fuck off. You know, like, why should anybody care about your criticism? Basically, it's like, why should anybody in the government help you? Just because is not a good enough reason. You know, like, we're all participating in this world together, and we should all try and help participate and make the world a better place. You know, like, and I'm not sure that just straight up criticism does actually make it a better place.